So the next problem is the profit in millions of dollars of a given cell phone manufacturer is given by this, where X is the price of the phone in hundreds of dollars and is subject to restriction. We charge 4 to 10. Now this isn't 4 to 10. This is $400 to $1,000, right? So what is the profit when phones are sold for $400? So that's when we were plugging in 0. Sorry, we're plugging in 4. So let's plug in 4 into this and see what we get. So I did negative 0.5, 4 squared, plus 6 times 4, plus, minus 6. And when we do that, if did I do that right? So negative 0.5 times 4 squared, oh, whoops, I made a boo-boo. When we do that, we get 10, but it's $10 million. All right, now when we plug in 1,000, we're not plugging in 1,000, we're plugging in 10 because the phones are in hundreds of dollars. So 4 means $400 and 10 means $1,000. So when we do that, do negative 0.5 times 1,000, sorry, not 1,000, 10 squared plus 6 times 10 minus 6. When I do that, I get $4 million. So what's happened is my profit was $10 million if I charge $400 a phone, and it's $4 million if I charge $1,000 a phone. So clearly, if I raise the price of the phones too much, fewer people will buy them, and I won't make as much money as I could. Now the problem is there a better place? Do I have can I make more money than $10 million? All right, so find the critical points. So the critical points are where the derivatives 0 are undefined. So p prime of x equals, that's going to be x, negative x plus 6. And so I set it equal to 0. It's never undefined. And I get x equals 6. Okay, now to figure out the greatest or the least, we have to plug in the endpoints and the critical point. So we know that the absolute min and absolute max live either at the endpoints or at the critical point. So we got to figure out what all these values are. So let's make a table. And we know that we're charging x and p of x. And we're going to plug in 4 and 6 and 10. Now, I've already had you do 4 and 10 already, right? So if we plug in 4, we get $10 million. If we plug in 10, we get $4 million. What happens when we plug in 6? So we're going to plug in 6. Negative 0.5 times 6 squared plus 6 times 6 minus 6. We get 12. All right, so what is the location and value of greatest profit? So if we sell the phones 612, so that means if we sell the phones for $600, we get a profit of $12 million. All right, now how do we make the least amount of profit on that? Well, if we charge that. So 10.4, this is the absolute max. This is the absolute min. And if we charge $1,000 for the phone, we only make $4 million. So do we want to make $10 million, $12 million, or $4 million? Well, we want to optimize the profit. And look, that's actually pretty good for the consumer, right? So the consumer not as many consumers will buy the phone at $1,000. A lot of people will buy them at $400, but you know the costs of making the phone are quite a lot. So this is good. There you go.